1st, 2004, not 2014. I don't want to take y'all back 10 years. 2024. Madam Clerk?
Brenham,
Here.
Pugh,
Here.
McBride,
Here.
Livingston,
Here.
Teratio, Weaver, Barron, Walker,
Here.
Mackey, English,
Present.
Newton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Item number 3 on the agenda is additions and deletions of the agenda. Mr. Gio, you recognize?
There are no additions or deletions to the agenda.
All right, thank you, sir. Number 4, withdrawals or deferrals. I would like to recognize Councilwoman Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to defer item 4 to the February 2025 meeting.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, can you call the vote, please?
Brenham,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Barron, I'm sorry. Barron,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Mackey, English, Newton.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Right. Item number 5 on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Madam Clerk, can you call for the vote, please?
Brenham,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston, Barron,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you, ma'am. Item number 6 is open public hearing. Item 6A, 6A1, case number 24-030, MA Lindsay Van Slambrook Esquire, General Commercial District to a Commercial Mixed Use District, GC to MU3, 2.09 acres, 7128 Park Lane Road, tax map R17005-0204. Planning Commission approves 7-0. Staff recommends approval as well. This public hearing is now open. Madam McBride, Ms. McBride. Mr. Livingston, did anyone sign up to speak for that item?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have 4 individuals signed up to speak to this item. I'll call your name. When I do call your name, you come up to speak. You have 2 minutes to speak to this particular item. If you get beyond 2 minutes, you'll hear sound or bell, and that will be the time for you to try to wrap up your comments. And the first person signed up is Cynthia. And Cynthia, apologize, I can't quite make out the spelling. Parvet. Say that again? Private. Yes. Okay. Ms. Private.
Good evening. First of all, thank you. My name is Cynthia Private.
And address. Give us your name and address, please.
Yes, sir. Cynthia Private. My address is 208 Oakley Drive, Columbia, South Carolina, 29223. Again, good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak about this critical matter regarding our community. We understand that the former Magazine Hotel, located at 7128 Park Lane Road, is scheduled to be converted into a 138-unit apartment complex. Based on the information we have received, we want you to know that we are against this project. Our community has several questions and concerns about it. My neighbors and I would like to bring some issues to your attention. First of all, what is the application and eviction protocols? What kind of people are moving into our community? What happens if the folks don't follow the rules? Parking. Is there enough parking? If not, where are these folks going to park? On the street? Crime and loitering. Recent stats show that between the year 2020 and the closure of this building in 2023, we had 298 reported incidents. This is and was a significant drain on the law enforcement resources in our community. We don't want to go back there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time, and I yield to the next speaker.
Next, we have Christine Flood. Following Ms. Flood, we'll have Arthur Flood. Ms. Flood, you have 2 minutes to speak, and can you give us your name and address for the record?
Christine Flood, 7158 Claudia Drive, Columbia, South Carolina, 29223. I'm speaking on the same property, 7128 Park Lane Road. Another problem will be parking and traffic. According to the developers, there will be 1 to 2 person in each unit. If both tenant has a vehicle, that will require 266 spaces. The facility has 138 spaces available. And if and when the tenants have visitors, that will require even more parking spaces. So how will this be accommodated? There is only one way in and one way out of that property, which will present a problem for emergency vehicles and law enforcement during an emergency. It would make it very difficult for a large fire truck, ambulance to enter and leave the property. Park Lane Road is a very busy road, and to have that number of cars turning in and out add to the congestion. We already have to contend with the traffic of Club Envy turning in and out near the intersection of O'Neill Court and Park Lane Road. Another issue is, what is the assurance that there will be the person who has applied for the apartment will be the one living in the apartment? There are ways to get around background checks and credit checks. As we know, sometimes it's not that easy to enforce an eviction on someone. It can get tied up in court for a very long time. And we see this as a return to the problems that we just recently got alleviated in our community. And that's our big concern. Thank you.
Arthur Flood. Mr. Flood, I have Dana Cook.
Good afternoon. My name is Arthur Flood. I'm at 7158 Claudia Drive, Columbia. Okay, I spent some time also analyzing the crime data related to the former Magnuson Hotel located at 7128 Park Lane Road. The results are staggering, okay? The hotel was a massive drain on law enforcement resources, okay? Between January 1st, 2020 and November 2024, there was 298 reported crimes at that address. Breakdown by years. In 2020, there was 78. In 2021, 98. 2022, 85. 2023, 38. And in 2024, only 1. Okay, some of those crimes are robbery, burglary, drug violation, forcible rape, kidnapping, and that's just to name a few. In 2022, there was a justifiable homicide at that address on October 15, 2022. These are just reported, responded deputies. So far, in 2024, One incident was reported at that address. That's when deputy conducted a traffic stop and made an arrest. So we can see here that since that property was not being used, we can see that crime was not there. Crime was not happening. So we feel that if this becomes a place for residents and everything, crime rate will rise again. So this is what we don't want this in our area.
That concludes your time.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. My name is Dana Cook. My address is 3531 Baxter Drive, Columbia, 29223. So we've given you the crime stats on the last time a hotel was in that location and the difference since it's been gone. We've expressed our concerns about the application process and what will be done when it's discovered that applicants have misrepresented themselves, and also the process for eviction. We've talked about the parking space issue with the one way in, one way out, and our concerns about first responders being able to get in and out of there, as well as the people who are staying there being able to get in and out there when an emergency occurs, because emergencies will happen. And finally, we talked about our concerns about the character of the people that might be attracted to the property based on the incidents that occurred there before. We've been made aware that the Sage Investment Group has withdrawn their zoning application for now, and we'll be back next year to restate these points and stand on the same business if they should put it in again. While there's not anything we can do to stop the hotel from existing, the people in this community are not in favor of the property being rezoned for mixed use. Your constituents do not want this residential space here. Thank you for hearing our voices and representing the desires and representing us as a community.
Chair, that completes the list of folks who signed up to speak to this item.
All right, thank you, Mr. Livingston. Ms. Yvonne, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I want to first thank the community for coming out speaking. This is a very serious issue, and I want everybody to know that we have given it complete attention. The applicant requested a withdrawal, but I did not hear back from them before today. But given the circumstances, I am reconsidering the request for withdrawal because I don't think it's fair to the community to have a possibility of having to go through this for 1 year and having them come back. I would like to give the applicant time to rethink the current motel that they're using, looking at the conditions there, looking at how they can work with law enforcement to improve those conditions. I looked at the application. The motel rooms, there has not been any physical or structural change to the motel room. Now it's going to convert from a motel to a hotel to an apartment with no structure changing. I've been to the facility 3 times, riding through there. I had difficulties turning around myself getting out. I've spoken with law enforcement. Just before they closed this motel, we were getting ready to look at it as a nuisance. So they have gone and put paint on the building and maybe some new carpet. But I was once told by a very good friend of mine, a law enforcement officer, that you can put lipstick on a pig, but a pig is still a pig. So we need to really consider the repercussions of approving this, of approving the request to change zoning. So given that and the input from the community, I am going to recommend denial.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Madam Clerk, can you call for the vote, please?
Brenham,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
English, Newton.
Yes.
Motion to deny approved.
All right, that brings us to item number 2 on our agenda, which is case number 24-040 MA, Marion Charlie Adams Jr., INS to U to MUI, 0.47 acres. That's at 4030 Bluff Road, tax map R13509-01-10. Planning Commission votes to approve. Staff recommends approval. Ms. English, you're recognized. Public hearing is now open.
No one signed
Livingston?
to speak to this public hearing, Mr. Chair.
No one signed up to speak. This public hearing is now closed. Ms. English, you recognize.
At this, I have heard last, wanting the app out and have not, and I've had several community neighbors reach out to me and express their disapproval. My problem, or my concern with this, shall I say, is that it is located right next to the church. You can walk out of the church doors and literally go 10 steps. And from memory, I remember boys' ordinances being evoked against churches, and this house is right next to it. So at this time, because of the use that would be allowed, I am deny this request.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, can you call for the vote, please?
Brenham,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston, Barron,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion to deny approved.
Thank you. Item number 3 on the agenda is case number 24-043 MA, Crystal Martin, R4 to LI, 2.4 acres, 10539 Farrell Road, tax map R17500-02-18. Planning Commission approves, as well as staff recommendation. That item is in my district. I have not heard from the applicant, so Mr. Gio, I'm going to defer this item to.
They want to do the public.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
It's open, no one signed up to speak. Mr.
Okay. Okay. So no one signed up to speak. That public hearing is now closed. Thank you, Mr. Livingston. Mr. Gio, I'm going to move to defer this. I should have deferred it at the beginning. I apologize. But I think that the next date is December the 17th, in hopes that I get an opportunity to speak to the applicant.
Second.
Okay, do you want to defer that, you deferring that to the December 17th zoning public hearing? Will that have a public hearing?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
we'd like to have another public.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So I'm deferring that to December 17th. We got the first and the second. All right. Madam Clerk, can you call for the vote, please?
Brenham,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Walker, English, Newton.
Yes.
Motion to defer approved.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. And that brings us to item number 7 on the agenda, adjournment.
I'll move.
Second.
We have a first, we have a motion in the second. Madam Clerk, can you call for the vote, please?
Brenham,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Livingston, Barron,
Yes.
Walker, English,
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion approved.